Hey kids, you trying to get into Segment City? Well, you really shouldn't, because Segment City is a mature podcast, and listener discretion is advised. I'm just trying to look at... I know I'm in an alleyway. I know how I look, but I got some fireworks for you kids. I got snakes and I got sparklers. That's all I got. Oh, don't give me that. Go over last week our Christmas presents that we got. I told you that I wanted to discuss what my girlfriend got me.
I'd love to hear, yeah,
on the podcast. So I'm gonna hold it up for you, and I want you to describe what you see.
Okay, yeah. It's a big old baguette, baby. it's as big as you.
Bread.
It's as big as you.
It is 3 feet about. It's a yard.
Okay.
It is a pillow that is bread. It is bread. She got me a bread pillow.
You know what's hilarious is I almost got you a blanket that is a tortilla blanket. I almost got you that. I was very close to buying you that.
Something about me just yells carbs to people, and I don't know what.
It yells sleep and carbs.
Yeah, I mean... Here's the thing. I get people blankets all the time. I love a good blanket, and I want people to give me blankets. So
so you're giving so you hope you get them.
I hope I get a blanket, a comfy one. I don't know if the tortilla one wouldn't have been comfy.
I want know. It was more of a goof.
Hardy, warm, comfy blanket.
I have to tell you this. You gave me a blanket one time, and I have been up at my family's home where I keep the blanket because it's a great, like, up in the woods
winter
spot.
Yes.
It's a great plot. Everyone has been fighting over that blanket for the last 4 weeks of me being here because it is a very soft, cozy blanket, and the house is like, it's warm enough, but because you're in the woods, you want to be extra cozy, and so everybody's just like, whenever it's free, everyone's taking it.
Yeah,
mine.
You ever think about the residual skin cells on blankets?
Not until now. Thanks a lot for ruining blankets for me, Will.
I got you.
I got a solution for you. Throw that bad boy in the washing machine every once in a while. You good?
Have you ever thrown a communal blanket that isn't in your own apartment, like in a family? I don't think I've ever watched my family.
What I do now is I have my own very soft blanket that I keep on a top shelf out of reach of small girlfriends. And then it is mine.
I like that you just call my what was it? My tall nemesis.
My lanky nemesis.
My lanky nemesis and his small girlfriend are here.
Yes, they have arrived.
They have arrived at Segment City. Welcome to Segment City, everybody.
Welcome.
This is a podcast in which Theo and I present segments each week. Some are new, some are reoccurring, but this one is a reoccurring one.
Uh-huh.
It is actually a Will's Ask. Will asks.
This is a new year, new Will thing. He's coming with...
I'm asking you questions.
Will's got
it's hard to come up with my own
year.
thoughts. Based on my Christmas present, that was a great present. I don't think it's the best Christmas present I've ever received. What is the best Christmas present that you can remember receiving?
The best Christmas present I can remember ever receiving.
And I know this is going to come out in mid-January, but I don't give a shit, people.
More than specific gifts, I just remember insane amounts of excitement about Christmas. Basically, my parents' rule was, you have to wait until 7 a.m. to wake us up. We are not allowed to be disturbed before 7 a.m. And my childhood dumbass was waking up at 4 a.m. to just sit there and wait for 3 hours. I literally would go downstairs and just look at the presents under the tree and be like, I'm so excited. I'm so excited for this. I think one of my all-time great presents was probably when I think it was probably my grandparents got me the Lego space shuttle. It was like a very complex space shuttle that I was like a little kid, and I think my older brother might have helped me build it, but I was just so off the walls excited about it.
Mm-hmm.
It was, dude, Lego slaps. Don't at me with telling me that Lego is not cool, because it is cool as fuck.
Lego is very cool. It's a great gift to receive and
So
just like
because
build the
it's
whole thing.
because it's an activity and a toy. It's
Yes.
both. Yes.
I do love that. That's a good, because I remember that excitement. I know exactly. Like you took me back to my childhood of just like, yeah. Oh, get up, get
Gotta
this
up.
shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Now I'm like, oh, you got me the thing that I sent you on my Amazon wish list. Thank you for this thing.
I really like, so I like having, there are a few people, you are one of them, where like you and I don't tell each other what we want, and we just get like a nice small thing that I was like, oh, this is so pleasant, and I didn't ask for this. That's my favorite kind of gift giving, which is just
because it takes thought. I like the ones that have a little bit of thought, at least.
Right.
I asked this question. I thought about it. I'm like, I cannot remember like my favorite gift. I do remember ones that I thought were heartfelt. And one of them I'm going to pull out for you now. And it is a Batman.
Oh, this is the infamous Batman beanie.
Infamous.
It pulls over your eyes so that you can be
you
Batman.
can pull it down.
Yes.
It's a beanie with like the fold up, and you can fold it down, and it's Batman's face, so you can rob
Yes,
a bank
I love
easily. But my mom got it for me, and I remember just being like, I needed a hat, and I love Batman.
Yes.
And it just felt so like good in me. I did
it.
get made fun of a little bit in college for wearing it, but I didn't give a shit.
That's why
like,
I said infamous, because I was just like, this is the gooberest hat, and I love it.
Oh, absolutely is Goober Central, but it was just what I like. It just felt good to receive because I have criteria for gifts, and I will give it to you now.
Here we go.
There is a good gift combines practicality with aesthetic. You need to know what a person is into and what they need. So, for example, I know that you are into like PlayStation stuff, and for your birthday, I gave you little like desk things because I was like,
you sparked delight because you know that I love PlayStation branded things, and it was just something I didn't know that I wanted, and then I saw it and I was like, of course I want this. How could I not want this?
Aesthetic with like actual practicality.
Yes.
And that's the key. So like a blanket that has Star Trek on it or whatever would be like, okay, that would be a pretty good gift for me because I like both of those things.
Right.
But like I'm thinking about like bad gifts that I've gotten where it's like, okay, maybe it's a branding that I like, but it's just not in a form I'd give a shit about. Of like, so I've gotten t-shirts that I'm like, this isn't even a good design. Like I get people t-shirts a lot because I know what they kind of like aesthetically, and I'll get them weird shit. Because I know where to look. But this is a fun Christmas story, and I'm gonna tell it because my oldest brother does not listen to the podcast, I think. And my middle brother, who does, will get a hoot. I once received the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles live action movie from my oldest brother on DVD. I did not own a DVD player personally, but my family did. We watched it on Christmas Day, and then I never saw that DVD ever again in my life. You got a gift for me that was a DVD for like $10 at the.
Oh my god!
I
remember when one thing was my grandparents also, when the year that the Wii came out, it was like the hot ticket toy. No one could get their hands on it, and my grandparents bought me a Wii game, and I got really confused because we finished unwrapping all of the presents and there was no Wii, and like my grandparents were just like, he wanted the Wii game. We bought him the Wii game. And my parents were like, we can't find it. If they want to buy it, they can buy it themselves. No knock against my parents. Like, they provided more than enough gifts over the course of my life. And like,
absolutely.
And like, we ended up buying the Wii like shortly thereafter. But I remember just as a kid being like super confused. I was like, I have a Wii game, but no Wii. What am I supposed to do with this?
You know what's a very underrated gift? Now, well, in COVID times, doesn't apply as much, but like tickets to a thing?
Yeah,
like
experiences.
Concert tickets?
Experiences are a good. I've given my girlfriend several experiences. Like, we went to some cooking classes that we went to together. We got massages together. Like, great. I like doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm very big into like, let's go on a trip. Let's do a thing together.
Right.
That's a very, very fun thing, gifts. But anyway, we're going to transition from this segment into a collaborative segment between Theo and I. We did some preparation before the episode because we're going to be playing game.
Truly new year, new us, actually preparing before the podcast. This is a whole new chapter, guys.
Speak for yourself. This is a game I heard about from just a Discord that I'm in, and it's called Inhuman Conditions. And I want to give a big shout out to the developers because they provided all the materials that you can play at home.
I love
like
that.
on Zoom. They have Zoom directions, like how to play it over Skype or any of those other things. They provide all the things and they go like, hey, if you want to buy the set, then do it. And it's a 2-player competitive game where one person is an interviewer and the other person they're interviewing to figure out if they're a robot. So there's a 50-50 chance that one of us who's being interviewed is a robot. There's 3 types of things that you can be if you're being interviewed. We had to roll dice and stuff before we had to random generate. If you get a 1 through 6, then you're a human and you need to just answer the things correctly, get a stamp of approval as a human. If you're a patient robot, then you want to get the stamp of approval as a human by the end of the game. But as a robot, you cannot do certain things. For example, I played a game where I couldn't talk about any sensory things that I've experienced other than sight. So I was like, oh, I saw the moon, but I couldn't say smell, and if I did, I had to do a penalty.
I smelled the moon, and it smelled like America.
Smelled good. And the penalties are like a weird thing, which we will get to, because we already generated all of this. And this is a game by Tommy Moranges, who did Secret Hitler in Philosophy Bro.
That's cool.
Yeah, Corey O'Brien, Miss Retold, Monster Prom, and illustrated by Mackenzie Schubert, who did Secret Hitler and Letter Tycoon. And I think the game board is very well made and things. I don't personally own it, but I just wanted to give a shout out. So how we're going to do this, we already set up who we are, and we already know who we are and stuff. So this is a 5-minute game. So we're going to be setting a timer. And Theo is going to be interviewing me first, and I am playing Dr. Bozo Fredrickson, Dean of a Clown College.
So good.
Which we have generated. That is, I did not come up with Dean of a Clown College. It's one of the options in the game.
It's aspirational more than anything, really.
And my penalty, if I do something wrong as a robot, is to compliment the investigator. Oh, and I forgot to go over the other type of robot that you can be, a violent robot. And a violent robot has to do 2 of 3 tasks that is on their card. And if they complete those tasks, then they have to slam the table. They have to do something startling in order to indicate that they've killed the person before the end of the round. If they don't do that by the end of the round, they freak out, they're done. And if you go against your programming as a patient robot and you don't do a penalty before the end of the round, you lose. So this is actually I want everybody at home to guess if we're a robot or not, because that's half of the fun. So let me get a stopwatch out. And
ready?
Theo, are you ready to go with this interview?
I'm
ready.
ready.
Make sure that I'm ready to go. Okay, so I am going to begin the stopwatch now.
In a moment, I'm going to ask you some questions about normal, everyday things. These will require you to share superficial details about your life and make small talk about them. Answer honestly. If you are a human, you have nothing to fear.
Oh, of course! Honk honk.
Very good, very good. Happy you could come in today. So, what are you doing this weekend?
This weekend, I'm going to be, just down at the college, at the clown college. And, we got a lot of fun activities. The new freshmen are coming in. And we're going to be seeing some elephants. Some big old elephants.
Oh, wow.
There's going to be big elephants here.
Okay. Very good, very good. And, aside from your professional duties, tell me about one of your favorite hobbies.
One of my favorite hobbies is, well, if you'd like to take a look at this fine flower that I picked. I love some It's actually water there.
Oh, Lordy. Oh, gosh.
I get them all
Yeah,
the time.
I get it. You're a trickster. It's a little bit much for me.
Hmm.
Let's see. So, you tell me where you grew up.
I actually grew up on a farm. Lots of cows there. Moo, you know. Lots of weird animals there. We got cows. We got chickens. Cluck, cluck. And we also, my mother would get these great pies. Would you like to take? I got one right here. Would you like to take a sniff?
No, thank you. I'm all set.
Oh,
thank you.
Shucks.
All right. So, what was your favorite thing about growing up there?
One of my favorite things about growing up on the farm, probably all of the wide open space. And I love all the animals there.
Mm-hmm.
I love, probably my favorite was the pig.
Mm-hmm.
Boom! Boom. I just jumped across the table and snapped your neck.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, my.
I did that in fucking record time. Jesus Christ.
Wait, what did you have to do?
Okay, so... Yes, I was a violence robot.
Okay.
Now you see why this is hard as shit. So my 3 tasks were... The third task is always perform the penalty twice for violent robots.
Okay.
So I could have complimented you twice at any point. The first one was mention an animal in response to 3 different questions.
Oh, Jesus, I let you have that right there.
Elephant,
you did a good idea. You did a good
cow,
job.
and then make an animal noise.
Yep, you did that multiple times.
So I only needed to do 2 of those.
And what could you not do?
Well, the penalty was just do perform the penalty twice is one of like the 3 tasks I could do.
Oh, I see.
Sorry, I'm sorry if I confused you. Patient robots are the only ones that like can't do a thing.
Oh, I understand. Okay.
So,
wow. Okay, so you just had to do that you just did that so quick. Oh my God.
Speed ran you.
I'm dead in record time.
Yeah, I mean, we could like set up another one if you wanted to do it again, but we could always just go on to you being the interviewee and I am the interviewer.
I'm fine with that.
Are you ready to go? Who are you? Before I start the timer, who are you?
I am... What did I say my name was? Nada Sessage. Nada Sessage. Great to meet you. Yes, I'm Nada Sessage. Yeah, so hopefully we can get through this. I've got some important matters to attend to. This is frankly not worth my time.
Oh, wow, that's well, I'm just going to ask you a few questions, Mr. Sessage. It says here that you're a cult leader? Is that your profession?
Yes, sir. That's my official occupation, and proud of it. Actually, 3rd generation cult leader. My father and my father's father were both cult leaders, and
I haven't started the timer yet. Sorry.
Okay.
This was just like I wanted the audience to know that you're a cult leader. So
right.
let's start now. In a moment, I'm going to ask you some questions, Mr. Sessage, about creative problem solving.
Sure.
These will require you to solve various hypothetical problems, then modify your evaluations based on certain constraints. Answer honestly. If you are human, you have nothing to fear. So, go on about your background a little bit.
Yeah, so as I was saying, 3rd generation, father, all that. So I sort of inherited the cult, and while our numbers have been steadily dwindling since I took over, we've still got some loyal followers, and we're making do. And I'd say we're not stronger than ever, but definitely intact.
All right, so I'm just gonna ask you. You seem like you're just in a weird mind space. So you wake up in a featureless room with no exits. How do you escape?
Why, I'd start calling for help. Someone's got to be around. I'm primarily taken care of by many of the followers. There's Mark and Bibbly and,
Bibbly.
Yes,
okay.
well, someone will come and get me eventually. I'm sure I wouldn't be in there for long. They wouldn't survive very long without me.
Oh, they wouldn't.
No.
Well, Bibbly is in the kitchen with you, and a dish towel catches fire. What do you do to put it out?
Well, it was Bibley's fault. He should put it out.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. I wouldn't be doing that. I couldn't have caused that. You know, I heard from the prophet that Bibley was going to be the betrayer. Everyone knows Bibley down the line is going to be the betrayer, and so this seems right in line with something he might do.
This actually fits very well with your kind of cult leader motif. What sort of problem might be solved by building a bomb?
Well, the prophet also said that there is going to be a bomb. I'm not yet. Well, I know if it's going to be us who builds it or not, but I shouldn't disclose that yet. The listening parties aren't ready to hear that information. So, while there are many problems that could be solved by a bomb and a series of elaborate bunkers and safe houses and stashing away rations for decades just in preparation for this. I'm not saying that there's plans, but, it's good to be prepared is all I'm saying.
You're talking a lot, which means you might be trying to get objectives done, but also you haven't used a double negative yet, which is your thing. So I'm going to ask you some more questions.
Sure.
Sir, what sort of problem might be solved by hiding under a table?
Hiding under a table? Well, in the world of cults, I don't know if you're a follower or maybe a leader yourself, but there are rival cults who try to come into our territory, maybe rough us up a bit, and so we traditionally train a little bit for hiding under the table in the case of a quick emergency before we get all geared up to strike back, and strike back we will. That's just part of the deal.
Now, your cult is surrounded by armed policemen ready to raid your compound at any point.
Been there.
How do you get out of this situation?
Well, there's always the old legal switcheroo. Didn't do it, can't get me. Pin it all on someone like Bibley. There's always that tactic.
Bibley's this fall guy, huh?
Bibley's a fall guy, and having aeroplanes nearby is always a good idea. Keep a small runway, unmarked airplanes, no tracking in those with no radar, and just get off the grid for a little while with your, most senior followers before you have to start back up.
Classic kind of stuff.
Classic things.
We have 20 seconds left, so just try to answer this before we get to the final question. You're in a landslide. How do you survive?
In a landslide of supporters who love me? I mean, what do you mean? It sounds like a great time. Sounds like just what we need to get a little shot in the arm for this operation, Okay. Sounds great.
Okay, that is time. And I have one final question before I mark you.
Sure.
I'm going to tell the department you're a robot, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Oh, Lord.
What now?
Well, it sounds like it's time to give Bibley a ring, isn't it? Sounds like we need to do an old identity switcheroo. I've been waiting with a surgeon to have his face mapped to mine for a while here, so, I don't think I'm going anywhere, is what I'm trying to say.
Well, that was a fib. I'm going to mark you as human?
And right you would be, I am a
human. Okay, that was good because your penalty was double negative, and
right.
I legitimately lost track of if you had done. This game is surprisingly hard, and I bet the listeners were like, "Yeah, you just can figure out if somebody's a robot easily."
But there's so much talking.
There's so much talking.
Yeah.
So that is this segment. What do you think?
That was really fun. You killed me so quick.
I know. I think I just lucked out because it was we picked the profession before we picked the thing, and it just happened to be farm animal shit. And I'm like, cool, elephants.
Yep.
yeah, it's super hard to be the interviewer because there's like legitimately like, one complaint I've heard about this game that people online say is that it's a little bit boring being human, but if you go into the role play, I think it gets more fun.
That wasn't boring for me. If like, I was just like, I don't know, I'm a human, so I don't have anything to hide, so I may as well just like fib it up, goof it up, like define this character.
I think I would, because I played this only a few times too. I'm not like a master at it, but I think you could homebrew in some human things. I think the patient and aggressive robot are good.
Mm-hmm. But you could come up with some other roles too.
Yeah, you could do something like a crazy person who wants to be stamped as a robot. So if they're a little too eager, then you're like, maybe he's just a human. Like maybe have that be like a low percent chance.
Yeah.
Or like I'm a criminal. I like a secret criminal or a spy or something. I want to hold something back. But
double agent or something, right? Someone who has interests in,
Just because like when you're a human, you have no reason to lie or do anything weird.
Right. I was just happy to answer all the questions as you wanted.
Yeah. And I was like, he's going pretty good.
Within the first 15 seconds, I was like, I'm going to be a failing cult leader. Someone who like definitely is not on top.
Out.
Like inherited the cult and our numbers have been waning, but
I wonder what Bibley thinks about this. He's just like, wait, I thought we were cool, man.
Bibley's chill.
So check out the game. We might play it another time. But I thought it was a good thing for a podcast and it's free to play. So thank you, Theo. Thank you, everybody else. We're moving on to Theo's segment now.
Okay, well, for our next segment, this is an in the news, but it's actually just a headline from February of 2018, so it's an old in the news.
So an eternity ago.
Yes, at one point it was news. This is from the BBC, and the headline is, "Why do some Chinese funerals involve strippers?" It's time to find out. We're going to go on this journey together.
Okay. Just a quick side story. Somebody that's like close to my family recently passed away. And so we were like kind of looking at pictures of them. And one of the pictures that was on their Facebook was them with another, like their son in front of what looked like a stripper doing a dance on a stripper pole. Okay. And we were like, what?
Oh no!
So that just immediately reminded me of that. So
this is a report by Yvette Tan from BBC. So I'm just going to read this. Music blaring through loudspeakers, strippers dancing to the beat, and audiences whistling along. In some parts of China, this is what you would see during a funeral procession.
I've never heard of whistling along to strip club music.
Yeah, make that ass bounce, make that ass bounce.
I love this jam.
Earlier this year, China renewed a clampdown on strippers performing at funerals, weddings, and temples, calling it, quote, obscene and vulgar.
Temples?
They also renewed the clampdown, and it didn't put it away. They already tried to get rid of this.
Put it away, girls. Put it away.
They tried to get rid of this problem already. This isn't the first time authorities have tried to get rid of the practice, but it has proven resilient. Why do people hire strippers at funerals? According to one theory, strippers are used to boost funeral attendances because large crowds are seen as a mark of honor for the deceased.
Oh my fucking God.
You know what's not seen as an honor for the deceased? Having a stripper at their funeral. Yikes.
They're baiting and switching your funeral. Like with a strip, it's like, ooh, you want to go to the strip? And it's like, we've gathered here today because Thomas had a wonderful life. And
show me like the titties.
Yeah, there's the one guy that was like, I'm here for titties. I don't know who Thomas is. It's like very honorable that he had a big crowd for the titties. Let's see Thomas's titties.
Another states the practice could be linked to a, quote, worship of reproduction. That's some malarkey. That's gotta be malarkey, right? There's no way that's the truth.
Nope.
In some local cultures, dancing with erotic elements can be used to convey the deceased's wishes of being blessed with many children. Huan Jianxing, a professor of Fujian Normal University, told the state media outlet The Global Times. One practical theory is that the hiring of strippers could be seen as a sign of wealth. Quote, Chinese rural households are more inclined to show off their disposable incomes by paying out several times their annual income for actors, singers, comedians, and strippers to comfort the bereaved and entertain the mourners, unquote, said the Global Times. Sorry, So when I die, Will, I expect you to get fucking Jerry Seinfeld to play my funeral. That's what I
What's the
expect.
deal with Theo?
What's the
He's
deal?
my lanky nemesis. What's the deal?
Everyone's like, it's so true, but so
Yeah.
sad.
What, imagine, tough crowd.
Tough crowd. Did someone die or something? Oh god.
Yikes.
Is the practice common? It is mainly seen in rural parts of China, but it's actually more common in Taiwan, where it first originated from.
Oh my god.
Quote, the practice of funeral strippers first caused widespread public attention in Taiwan in 1980, unquote. University of South Carolina anthropologist Mark Moskowitz told the BBC.
40 years.
40 years of
40
strippers.
years of
40
this.
years of strippers. Quote, it has become fairly common in Taiwan, but in China, the government has been more restrictive, so many people have never heard of this, unquote. But even in Taiwan, the practice isn't usually seen in major cities. Quote, because funeral stripping is a gray area between legal and illegal activity, it is less common to see it taking place in urban centers, although one often finds the practice in the outskirts of most cities, unquote, said Mr. Moskowitz.
Okay, from a legal standpoint, yes, it is in a gray area. From a moral and yuckiness standpoint, it is not gray.
It is not gray. This is a good one. Last year, a Taiwanese funeral featured 50 pole dancers gyrating on top of jeeps in the southern city of Chiayi. The funeral was for a local politician who, according to his family, told them he wanted a colorful funeral, quote, through a dream, unquote.
Okay. Okay. So there's the concept of the Irish stripper. Or not the Irish stripper. What the fuck am I talking about? An Irish stripper would be the saddest thing in the world.
That would be.
I am dancing for me potatoes.
Oh no.
No, an Irish funeral where you're laughing, you're sending them off with good vibes, so
That's
to
right.
speak. This is Buck Wild version of that. We're sending them off with some sexy vibes. We're gonna just like, hey, you sexy in life? Send him out with some sexy. Let's just grind on old grandpa here. See if he has one last go in him.
Just we gotta remember him in death, how he lived, and that was being danced on by 50 strippers.
Unbearably horny.
Unbearably horny all the time.
Okay. Is there? Tell me more.
Let's see. The newest crackdown is hardly surprising. It's just the latest in a series of campaigns over the years by the Chinese government to end the practice of funeral strippers. China's Ministry of Culture has deemed such performances, quote, uncivilized, unquote, and announced that anyone who hires a stripper to entice people to a funeral will be severely punished. They worry about nudity and the influence that this is having on society, especially given that children often see these shows.
Mommy!
Yikes.
Why is that lady? Is she cold? We're wearing black.
no.
She's wearing red and.
In 2006, the leaders of 5 striptease troops in the eastern provinces of Jiangsu were detained after hundreds attended a farmer's funeral that saw striptease acts being performed. In 2015, villages in Hebei and Jiangsu province made headlines on Chinese social media when it was discovered that strippers had been invited to the stage, quote, obscene performances, unquote, at funerals. The government again punished organizers and performers involved. It seems like this problem isn't going away for them. And, I can't empathize, but Will, if you want a stripper at your funeral, I'll respect your wishes.
No, I'm good. I'm pretty good. What about you? You good? Or
I think I'm good. I think I'm probably good.
Here's the thing. I'm a little tight on money right now, so I think I'm going to have to do the stripping for you if that's really your...
Will, I will die immediately if you strip at my funeral.
You'll double die. Your ghost will...
I will attend my own funeral.
Your ghost is going to... You're going to pull a Huckleberry Finn.
That's right.
You just fucking, your ghost comes back and is like, no, you just get sent to hell. Just kill me again, double death.
Double death. I don't want to see this. No.
Imagine you go to Grandpappy's funeral. Oh no, Grandpappy's dead.
Mm-hmm.
And then Sapphires takes the stage.
Oh no.
What do you do?
Sapphire spelled with 2 F's.
Yes.
Yes. What do I do?
Yeah. Do you just like look at your family and go, what?
I look around and say, whose idea was this? Props for execution. I get it. You had an idea and you followed through. But the idea needed a little more workshopping before we went full hog on it.
I just don't see there are times to be sexy.
Yes.
A funeral is probably the least sexy occasion. I appreciate trying to sexy it up, but it is so boner killing that why'd you even bother?
They're going to have to come out with a new line of funeral fashion that is just a little bit more revealing so that the strippers can feel a little more normal.
I do. I like the one line that was like, the government is cracking down on this, because I imagine like a bureaucrat that's like, I'm going to take on the world. I'm going to fix all the problems. It's like, you're on stripper duty, funeral duty.
The origin story of the bureaucrat is that when he was a child, he was out there watching the farmer's funeral, and he was watching the striptease, and even as a child, he was like, this is wrong. Somebody should stop this. And he grew up and trained and joined the workforce of the government, became a paper pusher to specifically crack down on this problem.
Somebody's got to put their foot down on this, and not in stilettos.
In an alternate universe, he becomes the stripper because he's sort of cast.
Undercover
operation. Undercover funeral stripper.
I will be, if undercover sting operation on this, I'm the corpse. in the box. I pop up and I have a badge and I'm like
freeze.
And they're like, where's the body of Grandpappy? And I'm like, where did we put it?
It's the long con. I've been your Grandpappy this whole time.
I pull off the makeup. Grandpappy, you're alive. I love you too, but you're under arrest. Do you go after the families or do you go after they said this troop?
You go after everyone, Will. You go after everyone.
They go after your family. They go after your livelihood.
You bring in like the brother of the deceased, and he's like, I didn't see nothing. I didn't see no strippers, and there was no music. I didn't see it. It didn't happen, and I definitely did not get something. Get a little under the table action. It didn't happen. It did not happen.
Well, if it isn't Bobby the Boner here, huh? We know you're going to talk about all the boners you got.
Jerk off Jerry. Look who it is.
Hey, just because I jerk off a little bit. He's just jerking off in the... Okay, we're done with this segment.
Oh, God.
Oh, wait, shit. Nasty transition from jerking off to people who are dressed as strippers in a fan fiction. We come to the most infamous fan fiction, My Immortal, our continuing reading of My Immortal. If you haven't listened to any of our other episodes, you don't need to go back and listen. It's fun. Please do listen to our old episodes, but you don't need the context, because this is a garbage Harry Potter fan fiction in which Ebony Darkness Dementia Raven Way, our protagonist, and Mary Sue. Mary Sue, as she will say in the little in-betweens between each chapter, is a vampire at Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, and we left off with Ebony yelling, "Vampire Potter, you motherfucker!" So that'll give you a little bit after she figured out.
We're on?
We are in chapter 8. If people want to follow along, this is after Ebony tried to have sex with Draco, and she saw a black heart with an arrow through it that said vampire, because that's Harry Potter's new name is Vampire.
Vampire Potter.
Vampire
so good.
Potter. Okay, so chapter 8. Author's note: stop flassing, okay? If you do, then you're a prep.
Boom, got him.
Everyone in the class stared at me, and then Draco came into the room, even though he was naked, and started begging me to take him back.
Okay, I'm going to pause right here. Draco walks in, full hog naked.
Yeah.
This is what Hogwarts allows now? This premier institution?
Uh-huh.
Ebony, it's not what you think.
Draco screamed sadly. My friend Bloody
B apostrophe Luddy.
Luddy Mary Smith smiled at me understatedly. Understated. What the fuck does that mean? Just like a little like,
Understatedly.
Just very low key.
Just low-key.
She flipped her long waist-length gothic black hair and opened her crimson eyes like blood that she was wearing contact lenses on. You didn't. Okay, you're vampires. You didn't need. You could have. That could have been a character thing. It didn't need to be contacts. She had pale white skin that she was wearing white makeup on. Once again, you're. What's the point? Okay, this is. Hermione was kidnapped when she was born.
Oh wow, this is real good world building here. Just drop that in.
I'm sorry. I'm in left field now because I'm trying to find where it came out of left field. Where did it come from? Why is Hermione here?
Just you needed to know that detail. It provides valuable context for later.
Okay, well, here's the thing. Her real parents are vampires, and one of them is a witch, but Voldemort killed her mother, and her father committed suicide because he was depressed about it.
Okay.
Really just like a real solid understanding of mental health. I think the author must have had a doctorate in psychology to really get that because he was depressed about it.
Right.
She still has nightmares about it, and she is very haunted and depressed. It also turns out her real last name is Smith and not Granger. Since she has converted to Satanism, she is in Slytherin now, not Gryffindor.
That's a great example of show don't tell. That is a purely professional and amazingly good demonstration of world building at its finest.
Now, Theo, you get probably one of the best lines ever.
What is it you desire, you ridiculous dimwit?
Snape demeaned angrily in his cold voice, but I ignored him.
Vampire! I can't believe you cheated on me with Draco!
I shouted at him. Everyone gasped.
Everyone grasped. Oh my god.
I don't know why Ebony was so mad at me. I had... Okay.
Wait, so it just hard shifted to first person?
Oh, my brain.
Oh, my brain. It just shifted really hard.
It shifted perspectives from Ebony to Draco.
Yes.
To Draco. We are both confused because nothing... We're reading this verbatim. Nothing. I don't know why Ebony was so mad at me. I had went out with a vampire. I'm bi, and so is Ebony. Thanks for that little detail. For a while, but then he broke my heart. He dumped me because he liked Brittany, a stupid preppy fucker.
Damn, that feels like real life got inserted right there.
Fuck you, Brittany.
Fuck you, Brittany.
We were just good friends now. He had gone through horrible problems, and now he was gothic. Like the architecture.
He was gothic, right?
He had gargoyles hanging off of his head. Haha, I'd like to hang out with a prep. What? Haha, I would like... That's in parentheses. I don't know what that means.
Is that internal? Is that like sidebar?
I guess. That's... Maybe it's the author. Maybe it's the author. I don't know.
But I'm not going out with Draco anymore,
said Vampire.
Yeah.
Wait, no. Who is this? Who goes next?
Who is I?
Who is I?
Who is I? Is it Draco or is I think?
Okay, it's Ebony because
it's Ebony.
She says Draco.
Yep.
Yeah, fucking right. Fuck off, you bastard.
I screamed. I ran out of the room and into the forbidden forest where I had lost my virility.
Virility?
To Draco.
She's already experiencing menopause?
Virility. I lost my virility. He sucked my life force out. And then I started to bust into tears.
Just bust into tears. Yeah.
Chapter 9. Author's note. Stop flaming, okay? I didn't read all the books. I didn't read the...
She didn't read all the books. Oh no.
This is from the movie, okay? So it's not my fault if it's not my fault if Dumbledore swears. This is why people think that this is a fake. Is because this is so misspelled. I'm trying to read it phonetically. I said he had a headache, and the reason Snap doesn't like Harry now is because he's Christian, and Vampire is a Satanist.
Wait,
MCR rocks.
Are you saying that Snape is the Christian figure in this storyline?
You will
He's
be
the voice of
saved
the
by
Catholics?
Jesus Christ.
Snape for fucking, I would love to see Snape as Pope. I would live for that.
Oh, the smoke's coming out. Which one of the cardinals have they chosen for Pope? It's Snape? Are you sure?
Wow, are you sure?
I would like to read some Bible verses. Once there was a beautiful woman who went out with a douchebag and then had a baby with her. And now
don't they have a child?
I'm going to kill Harry Potter. I mean, what?
What?
I was so mad and sad. I couldn't believe Draco was cheating for cheating on me.
Mm-hmm.
I began to cry against the tree where I did it with Draco. And then all of a sudden, an horrible man with red eyes and no nose and everything started flying towards me on a broomstick. He didn't have a nose.
There was no verb in that sentence. That really threw me off.
Okay, then all of a sudden, an horrible man with red eyes and no nose and everything started flying. Okay,
I started. Got it.
Towards me on a broomstick. He didn't have a nose. Thank you.
Basically like Voldemort in the movie.
Fun little author's note. And he was wearing all black, but it was obvious he wasn't gothic. It was ... Voldemort.
Like in the movie.
No! I shouted in a scared voice, and then Voldemort shouted,
Imperials.
And I couldn't run away. Crookshanks! I shouted at him. Voldemort fell off his broom and started to scream. I felt bad for him, even though I'm a sadist, so I stopped.
Ebony,
he yelled.
Thou must kill Vampire Potter.
I thought about Vampire and his sexa eyes. Sexa eyes. And his gothic black hair. And how his face looks like Joel Madden.
Sorry, what?
Joel Madden.
Okay.
It's not the guy from the sports. It's a different Madden, I think. Because that would be crazy.
That would be wild. Because Joe Madden.
So you gotta do a play. John Madden. So Vampire, you gotta do a play. You look a lot like me.
You gotta hold the pigskin real close, and then you gotta fire a spell at Draco, and that's a touchdown.
How much do you weigh? Do you also weigh 300 pounds?
I remembered that Draco had said I didn't understand, so I thought, what if Draco went out with Vampire before I went out with him and they broke up?
No, Voldemort!
I shouted back. Voldemort gave me a gun. No, please! I begged.
I love the visual of someone handing someone a gun and the person being handed the gun just going, no, please.
I begged. He just puts her hands around, just like, yes. I love the idea with Voldemort just having. He just pulls a fucking Glock out. He's like, the most powerful spell of all.
Right, motherfucker.
This will end us all.
Thou must.
He yelled.
If thou does, I hate how he says thou. If thou does not, then I shall kill thy beloved Draco.
How did you know? He's just Toad. I asked in a surprised way. Voldemort got a dude, you're so retarded look on his face.
This is truly a literary masterpiece.
Yeah, sorry for the...
I hath telekinesis.
He answered cruelly.
And if
That's-
you doth not kill vampire, then thou know what will happen to Draco.
Telekinesis is moving things with your mind, not reading minds. I could move shit. He just
I can
floats the
move
gun.
it with my mind.
Oh, he shouted. Then he flew away angrily on his broomstick.
I'm out of here. I'm very upset.
I was so scared and mad I didn't know what to do. Suddenly, Draco came into the woods. Draco! I said. Hi!
Hi.
He said back, but his face was all sad. And he was wearing white foundation and messy eyeliner, kind of like a pentagram. Get it? Oh, God, I hate
Get
this
it.
author. Get it. Between Joel Madden and Gerard Way. Are you okay? I asked.
No.
I'm sorry I got all mad at you, but I thought you cheated on me. I expelled.
I expelled. That's okay.
He said all depressed, and we went back into Hogwarts together, making out.
Just walking
sideways.
You know.
Just classically walking sideways.
And that is end of chapter.
We'll
Hard
do one.
end.
Chapter 10 is a pretty quick one, so let's do this.
Okay.
I will not be reading the author note because it is homophobic. Don't you love that?
Gotta love it.
I was really scared about Voldemort all day. I was even upset went to rehearsals with my gothic metal band Bloody Gothic Rose 666.
On point.
I am the lead singer of it, and I play guitar, like Jem in the Holograms. People say that we sound like a cross between GC, Slipknot, and MCR. Now, that's Good Charlotte, Slipknot, and My Chemical Romance. Though I think Slipknot is probably the odd man out of that one, I think. I don't know. I haven't listened to a lot of Slipknot. The other people in the band are Bloody Mary, Vampire, Draco, Ron.
Ron, yes.
Parentheses, although we call him Diablo now.
Diabolo.
Diablo. Howdy.
I'm Diabolo. I'm a devil that wears a necktie that's a bolo tie.
He has black hair now with blue streaks in it. And
Oh,
Hargrid.
And Hagrid.
And Hargrid.
I didn't read the books, okay?
I didn't read the books. Oh no. Only today, Draco and Vampire were depressed, so they weren't coming, and we wrote songs instead. I know Draco was probably slitting his wrists.
Oh, God.
He wouldn't die because he was a vampire too, and the only way you can kill a vampire is with a CROSS. There's no way I'm writing that. This is a double parentheses.
This is double parens.
Or a stake.
All right, we're out of parens.
Yes. And Vampire was probably watching a depressing movie like The Corpse Bride.
Good. Yeah.
Good references. I put on a black leather shirt that showed off my boobs and tiny matching miniskirt that said Simple Plan on the butt. You might think I'm a slut, but I'm really not.
I love that. That is fantastic.
That is
But
my
I'm not.
mantra.
I'm not.
You might think I'm a slut, but really, if you think about it, I'm not. Have you thought about it, idiot?
2021, new year. You might think I'm a slut,
But
but I'm actually not.
but am I?
But am I?
But hey, am I? And they're like, We were singing a cover of Helena, and at the beginning of the song, I suddenly bust into tears. Oh, that's you.
Ebony, are you okay?
Bloody Mary asked in a
bloody.
concerted voice. In a concerted voice. Oh, wait, I gotta come up with the voice. Oh, what the fuck do you think? I asked angrily, and then I said, well, Voldemort came, and the fucking bastard told me to fucking kill Harry, and I don't want to kill him.
Who's in the band?
Who's
yo?
in the band? We gotta get a new bassist. But I didn't want to kill him because he's really nice, and even if he did go out with Draco, but if I don't kill Harry, then Voldemort will fucking kill Draco. I burst into tears. She learned how to do burst. Right burst. Suddenly, Draco jumped out from behind a wall.
Haha, gotcha. I've been standing here this whole time.
Like it's Scooby-Doo.
Why didn't you fucking tell me?
He shouted.
How could you fucking poser muggle bitch?
Author's note, C, is that out of character? Yeah, a little bit to jump out from walls. I think it would be more appropriate if he jumped out and was just like, "Where's Harry Potter? I'm going to knock him off his broom."
Off his broom?
I started to cry and cry. Draco started to cry too, all sensitive. Then he ran. He's the one he called her out. She started crying. He started crying. He ran away. We practiced for 1 more hour.
Oh, okay. Resolve that. Uh-huh.
Then suddenly,
Dumbledore
walked in angrily.
Dumbledore is getting huge on these weights. These free weights getting yoked. I'm Dumbledore.
His eyes were all fiery, and this time it wasn't because he had a headache.
I'm upset, and it's not because I have a headache.
Yeah.
What have you done?
He started to cry wisely.
I'm crying so wisely.
See, that's basically not swearing, and this time he was really upset, and you will see why.
Ebony Draco has been found in his room. He committed suicide by slitting his wrists. Wait, I thought that wasn't possible.
It was. That's the cliffhanger. That's the fucking cliffhanger ending. Stay tuned for another episode of Segment City where we continue at chapter 11.
God. I can't wait.
I can.
I can. You're right. I can.
Anyway, I know I can't wait until the end of Segment City because then I can do things after.
Wow, tell me how you really feel, Will.
I hate you.
Oh, God.
Was that too? Well, if you hate us, send us an email at segmentcitypodcast@gmail.com, where you can email us with segments of your own. If you have any other fan fictions you want to send us, hit up our Twitter at Segment City or YouTube Segment City, where we have full episodes on some individual segments. And we want to give a big thank you
to our favorite vampire, Rachel Robinson.
Is she a vampire?
Oh, shoot. I wasn't supposed to say that.
Shoot, dude.
We should end the podcast because she's great, but she definitely doesn't sleep in a coffin and definitely doesn't go out during only the night. Okay.
No, wait. Bye, preps.
Bye, preps.
Review us. Cowards.